Hello, everyone. Welcome to the road trip, or the trip, actually. What am I saying, the road trip? The trip. I get my shows all confused when I don't have that many. But welcome to the show. Yes, it is 7:30. It was 7:30 when I clicked the button, but it is time for us to have the show. We got a lot to talk about. Or there's a lot to talk about. Arsenal, not much to talk about when it comes to strikers, but and scoring. But we'll try to find a way how to figure out how that can be answered. As my message says, how do we score goals? Somehow we need to win goals for the rest of this season. We've got how many more games left? I think we've got I think we've got 13 more games left in the season. Got at least two games left in the Champions League, and it'd be really cool if it'd be really cool if we figure out how to score at least one goal, right? And so that's something we'll talk about. What else we got going on? We'll say somebody has joined us. Got Arsenal. Got Steven in the house. Arsenal Misfit. Hey everyone, hope you're all good. I'm good. And before I continue on, we've got Spencer joining us. How you doing, Spencer?
I'm good. Hello.
Cool. Just started rambling a little bit. I introduced the wrong show, of course, because I don't know. I just did it.
It happens.
Yeah, got Tiger and Goon also in the house from Aussie land. Who joins us, and I was just rambling about scoring goals. Somehow, in the next 15 games of the season, Arsenal has to figure out how to score goals, and over half of them. The last two games, we have not scored a goal. The game before that, it took a late heroic surprise for us to score two goals. So, yeah, I think we're struggling. And joining us right now, got Biggs Gunner in the house. Biggs Gunner was up in the Boogie Down, I believe, hanging out with the family. It was birthday time for the little one. I believe he was having fun. No, it's since the City game, we've played 4 matches. We scored 2 goals. And not by an attacker. Not by a defender. Not good, Spencer. Mr. Tom, he'll join the show when he's ready, but he's not ready. So, Spencer, tell me. You can answer this question because you always have answers. How are we going to score goals?
You got to put the ball in the back of the net. I don't know what to tell you, man. Got to put the ball in the back of the net.
A little bit more. It's a little bit more involved in that because we're talking about this Arsenal team.
I told you it's gonna be a bumpy ride, baby. Bumpy ride. I don't have an answer. I really don't have an answer.
It's short-term answers. Try anything. See which ends up working. Long-term answer. Arteta hasn't done in 5 years. He signed a striker. He re-signed Aubameyang. Re-signed.
How does that help us today? Can you tell me? The question is, how do we score goals? You're talking about somebody who doesn't play for us anymore.
I gave you an answer. You try until something works.
All right, but okay, no, that's not a good answer. I need more detail, buddy.
I would put Trossard and Waneri up front. Play a 4-4-2.
Yeah. I think people are okay with that. And when I brought that up, and I said, you know what, Calafiori and Tierney could be our wings, and they're like, that could work. That could work. I mean, Sterling right now, I don't believe is an answer. I don't know if I don't think Arteta has destroyed him in terms of like not playing him, and now he really can't play football anymore. I don't think Sterling has anything left in him.
He seems like he just doesn't care. He's just going through the motions, and he's definitely lost speed and ability, which is terrible because you know he's playing for his last contract, trying to get as much money as he can, and I don't know who would be signing him.
Well, that's the thing. If you have that motivation, we've seen players under that same motivation. It don't look like that.
Nope.
You know, if that's the motivation, something's like it's not even that anymore. It's not. You don't have it in you to even look like you're trying to win a contract.
So, somehow he's ended up being a worse signing than William.
Yeah, not for the cost, but definitely for what we wanted out of him. Yeah, Big Gun. You know what's funny? I was saying to myself this morning, I was like, is it me or is it really, really cold? Because I am like cold, and it's like March. And I'm hoping it gets warm because I don't like it. I'm cold. Mr. Tom is in the house. It says hello, everyone. There you go. We got also Brenny has joined us. Brenny in the house. Thanks for joining us, Brenny. Uh-oh, keep going down the list here. We got Zanzi's in the house. Yeah, yeah. Got Anders also in the house, so it's not a solitary Leeds fan. We got two.
Where's Spencer City? So he could be a stiff Jedi.
He didn't get the memo. Sorry.
It's cold here, but not that cold.
Oh, yeah. Got BBK Sports in the house. Welcome to the show, BBK Sports. I'm going to say you're new to me. You may have been here on other shows, but you're new to me. Thanks for joining us. Rosie's in the house. Welcome to the show, Rosie. Yeah. Yep. His poor performance is definitely not on today. Yeah, no. I don't think it is at all. Nothing what usually when Arteta cuts off a player and they still get a chance to play, they don't do what he's doing. So, yeah, Sterling resembles a player that's being held at ransom to throw a fixed performance. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. For me, this means, and as you said, oh wait, yeah, we'll get to this in a second. It's probably a good question. As you said, Arteta has to do something, and that maybe it means two up top, kind of a three. What is it? A three, whatever it is, a 3-2-2-2-1. Oh, I don't know what it's called.
What?
I don't know. Some sort of formation where you've got Inweary and Trossard up top.
Or 4-4-2, 3-3.
4-4-2. All right, there you go. We'll take that. So we'll see. I personally blame Kai Havertz and hold Spencer responsible for anything he does that's not perfect.
There you go.
That sounds like a lot of nonsense, but I'm not expecting anything else from you, Mr. Tom.
Tom, the nonsense king.
I heard somebody came up and some were talking about Kai Havertz, and they were also, they were talking about Declan Rice. Declan Rice, 100 mil. Kai Havertz, 65 mil plus the 280 plus the top salary guy. Are they pulling their weight? Are their salaries and their value to the club in terms of transfer fees? Are they actually pulling their weight?
Nope. I think Rice has had a very poor year. Like I said, they have to decide: are you an 8? Are you a 6?
Is that his decision right now?
I don't know. That's kind of like you and my coaching staff. Who's ever over midfield there? You kind of have to figure that out. But I still don't like having a defensive midfielder. I would just rather have 3 based on having a million fullbacks. I like the 4-4-2, but Arteta only did it after Odegaard was out and made a huge mistake by not playing Winery, because Winery would be in better form if he had played 5 or 6 games there. And you need it.
No, yeah, I mean, definitely Arteta did not utilize his squad when he had injuries.
I mean, both our academy players that we've been using are probably about the best players of the season because they're
They are the
pretty.
best players since they've come into the squad and been given minutes. But for me, still the best player is Saka.
Yeah, I mean that's sad, but
I mean, we
I
talk. We just think about this. You're talking. You're saying that, and I didn't even bring it up until now. But our center backs have pretty much played every game. We haven't
yep.
really subbed them out. They played every game. We're giving up goals once in a blue moon, it seems. But in general, the center backs have been there. So when you talk about like most important players in the team, it's hard to not look away from them.
Yeah, they're both valuable. I still think Gabriel's more. He communicates more with the people. He helps set up the free kicks, helps set up the corners, and he's usually the one that goes talks to the ref. He does it more than Odegaard.
You know,
I mean, by looking at the game, you would think he was a captain and not Odegaard, because Odegaard's busy being a chicken with his head off, going all over the field. He has a position to be in, just like Rice does. It just he's trying to do too much of this utility player stuff. Just stick them in where they're best at and play them there, and you'll get good results. I mean, Odegaard needs to be near the goal. He doesn't need to be back covering as right back. That makes zero sense, especially when you got Timber, and he does it less with Timber. That's why he's been running all over the pitch.
that could be a BX.
You got Timber. Timber solid. He can play either side. I prefer him on the left because the left's a little weaker with the players we have available. But I just think it's time to experiment, see what works.
All right. I think you went off on a tangent.
You don't have much to lose.
All right. So
All right.
Spencer, let's get back to the original question. Tony did go off a little bit, but Kai Havertz and Declan Rice, are they earning their keep?
Depends on what the bar is, right? It's a loaded question. So
You have to answer it yes or no, and then tell me why. That's all.
well, it depends on the question. It depends on what the parameter is. Is if you thought you were going to spend 165 million and get a trophy, then the answer is no. If you're talking about the value they've added to the team and made the team better, the answer to that is yes.
You think they've given out 165 mil in value?
In today's market, yeah.
You don't think Asensio could have given us the same value that Kai Havertz has given?
I don't know.
You think Ollie Watkins or
What do you think Arsenio would have cost you? You think you would have got?
He wouldn't have cost. He would have cost whatever he cost. What was it? 30 mil or something like that? I don't know what he cost.
I thought he was a loan player.
Is he a loan? I thought they had to loan other players.
Yeah. I say yes.
You say yes. All right. I hear you.
I don't. Havertz had 15 goals this year so far before he got hurt, and then I can't remember what last year's stats were.
Mm-hmm. I think it was around the same amount, probably 18, maybe at the end of the year. I think.
I mean, that's pretty decent, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't. For what we wanted out of what we're missing, no, because like he's given us the goals, right? But then we always say we need the moments goals, like it's a 0-0 game and we need to score a goal, and he's put in positions to do that, and he's failed more than he succeeded. Yeah, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, he needs to succeed. He doesn't, and so he's not truly a striker, is he? He just plays that role on the pitch. That's kind of why. That's kind of why I'm like, nah, he's not a striker. Not the way we want. What we're missing. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like we're missing a striker.
Go ahead, Spencer.
Oh, I was looking at some stats to back up what I was talking about. I wanted to look at some data from last year, but
I'm just curious how many Premier League goals he has is only that I want to know.
who are we talking about? Rice or are we talking about Havertz?
Harvard.
Havertz had 19 goals and assists this season before he got injured. And that's in all competitions. And then last year he had
He's got 15 goals in the league right now.
And then last year, all competitions, I think he had roughly 19.
Actually, he's got 15 goals in all competitions right now.
Yeah, well, 20 altogether. And then last year, 21 goals and assists in all competitions.
He's got 9 goals in the league right now. So in terms of competing with the strikers in the league, he's not there. I mean, if you look at every team in the top 10, they all have strikers, or those who play strikers, in double digits. Most of them, right? So
I mean, I think he's been worth it. I don't know about the wages. I don't know about the wages.
That's why I brought that up as well.
Those are two different things. The transfer fee is one thing. The wages
No, it's a package deal. It's a package deal. You can't say it's one or the other, or they're separate. No, they bring you bring a player in for 65 mil, which at the and then you pay them top salary. There's something that you're asking for out of them. Like what's the difference between that and what if you paid 80 mil and you paid them half, or 70 mil, 75 mil, and you paid them a lower salary, right? That's be the same thing. We'll be saying he's not worth 70 mil. At least I would be saying that. The salary might not be a problem, but I think when you're the top salary, when you put that much money, you invest that much into a player's salary, you need more, and I think that's the problem. I tell you this all the time. Saka is doing a lot, but we need to get more out of him because that's the level that I think he's at. So he needs to give us some more.
Kai Havertz has been a better return on investment than Gabriel Jesus.
Yes, and that's why we don't want him either. You're right about that. I'm with you on that one.
So now we're saying we don't want Havertz at all.
Havertz is a backup for me. He's not a starter for us. If we get a striker in, I don't know where we play him, and more than likely he would come off the bench. He could still get double-digit goals.
Spencer, if he didn't get wasted 6-7 months in the midfield, would he done a lot better if they just started him as a forward, which I would call him instead of a striker? Because he knows the positioning. He's tall enough to get my headers, plenty of headers.
I think he does a lot of stuff off the ball that made him still good in the midfield. I know people are going to disagree with me on that, but
who's that? Who does a lot of things off the ball?
I think Havertz was good too. Made good tackles, good headers, good runs. I think he played okay in the midfield. I think the problem we had last year was Partey was playing right back at the beginning of the season. That was the biggest issue.
And he's been playing right back this season.
Yep,
which has been a great problem. So
that's another problem. Okay, so that's the other thing. He should be at this point. We're not going to win anything this season. Let's be real. We're not winning Champions League. It's time to move on from Thomas Partey and stuff like that. Play some of the other players we have and see who's going to be on this team next year.
Yeah.
Half
of me agrees with you, but the other half of me is looking at Arteta going, the man doesn't like to just give up, which is funny because I feel like he definitely, as far as I'm concerned, he didn't do enough to get a player in this window. I don't care about, I understand supposedly they didn't want to pay the extra money, but at some point the manager has to stand up and say, we need this player. We basically shut down the entire season because we didn't want to bring in at least one player. We could have brought in 2, but we didn't bring in at least one player, and then we got punished for it. So now we're gonna put a lot of pressure on the players that we shouldn't have had to.
I would have liked
so-
to have seen
yeah.
some of those phone calls when you see
Mm.
Jesus and Havertz go down. Still
Yeah.
don't like. Still don't like us going to Dubai. I think you just stay in England, relax.
Yeah, I don't think that changes the injury concerns. You got a rhetoric gamer in the house. Welcome to the show. I don't think the trip to Dubai is the reason why players got hurt. I think players were going to get hurt no matter what. So whatever exercise they were doing would have been the same exercise they would have done in London Carly and wherever they decided to go differently. So I think, yeah, I got Scooby D2 in the house. No, I mean, if you still have a chance to win the Champions League, but you're going to have to play a style of football that you can win with. And my problem has always been, will Arteta actually try to win a football game based on the cards that he's dealt? I don't think he does that. I think he'll stick to his plan and then throw the cards as may and hope they fit.
Does anyone really think if we win this round that we will beat either one of the Spanish teams we will line up against?
Right, sorry, say it again. I missed it.
If we get past this round of the Champions League, then anybody, because we'll be facing one of two Spanish teams, two Spanish teams are playing each other, and we'll be playing one of those. I can't remember if that's Real Madrid.
Either Atletico Madrid or Madrid, or Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I would say who thinks we'll get past that. I mean, it's to me. You look at that, you think the Champions League's over because you got to score some goals against those teams. Not too many against Atletico, but the way their defense and stuff set up, they're not going to let us have any goals.
Well, I think if you don't set your team, like your strength of your team right now is your defenders and your fullbacks, right? If you don't lean on them, then you're basically, I think, giving up, right? So if you can play to their strengths and then use that in your game plan, then I think you have a chance. But if you just play to your your style of football with players that don't fit your style, you're just asking, it's asking for trouble. Debo Samuel, what's the verdict? What? Oh, he's left. All right.
He got traded from the San Francisco 49ers to the Washington Commanders for a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, that's just crazy. And the Cowboys just sitting back going, whatever. Like, we don't do. Whatever, we don't need these players. Steal for 5th. Yeah, I mean, I think Debo's a good player. They could deal with them.
Until he becomes a diva. So.
Yeah, well, he's going to do that. That's what he's going to do. But maybe he'll be happy there for a little bit longer than before he becomes that diva.
We shall see. He's a former South Carolina Gamecock, so.
I know exactly. I know that too. I do know that. But he did play well for San Francisco for a bit, right? Maybe he was a diva during that whole time, but at some point. How many goals would Firpo score for Arsenal based on his current 2-2? Well, is that seeing how our fullbacks do score goals, he would have a lot of fun playing for us. So there you go. And Bronco says 3 goals. So there you go. There was a question here. I'm going to pause here. Let's go to that question before we move on. Zanzi, question for the panel. If it's taken us 4 years to buy a striker, how many years will it take us to get a sporting director? I think that question. I mean, do you guys want to answer that? I mean, I based on what we're hearing today, it'll take us at least 4 weeks to solve that problem. I think that's too long, based on the fact that I think we're the only ones involved in the current manager, the current sporting director. But I don't think it'll take us 4 years to get a sporting director. But I do, and I would like to hope that the sporting director has come in with a plan to get us a striker or two.
This is the time of year you're talking to other teams, seeing who's available, seeing what it will take, seeing if they have a release clause, finding ways to get players to seeing. Because they actually have a deal of like available players that you can sign because they got this computer network that basically they just put them up there. So this is what they done. This is if they're available, and this is the starting amount for them. But I don't know. I think we should have had this done a long time ago. I originally wanted somebody that got in trouble for getting some photos. I also wanted Bird Camp. I think Bird Camp could do the job fine, or go to the academy and do fine.
What qualifications have you seen from Bergkamp that he'd be able to do the job?
Well, he's from Netherlands. He grew up playing every position because that's what you did at that time. And he was lock and lock with Overmars.
So far, you've given me a good resume for a football player and maybe a manager,
yeah, but
coach.
But he was right there with Overmars. They were working together hand and foot. It was working well.
I don't know. I just didn't know he had much qualifications to take a job like Arsenal's and I rather we need more experience. I'm sorry.
And then give him a board seat. There's 2 empty boards.
What does that have to do with the sporting director, though? You need a sporting director right now.
We need more board members too. I played football. Football minds instead of lawyers and accountants and real estate people.
I hear you. BBK Sports, I did sub to you as well, my man. We've got my trust. I trust Titanium's ability to choose a proper talent totally gone. Mudrik was the alarm bell, and now it's a 3-alarm fire with a crap summer window. Yeah, I don't know. Miss Molina's joined us. Welcome to the show, Miss Molina.
Hello.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm just looking. I'm looking for the next win. The only way we get a win is if we score a goal. There's only one game where we don't score and it doesn't matter, and that's this next one tomorrow. So, but I don't know. I don't know how we score. Arteta has to do something different, something out of the box, something that makes him cringe.
So what if you lose to Man United, then you lose your next league?
I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen on Sunday, Gary, against Man United. It's going to be a 0-0 bore fest.
Yeah, I don't.
Might as well schedule your nap during it. It's going to be. It's going to be like 5 shots total in the game, 3 on target for somebody, and 0-0, dude. It's going to be boring as dog poop. To be honest with you.
I hear you. Yeah. Like I said, we need to be able to score a goal in over half our games. So, if not against Manchester United, I don't know who. So we need to be able to score a goal. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't want to be negative. I don't think I am. I don't know where the goals are going to come from at this point, man.
I just think we need to try something different. We've seen the same thing over and over again and going, well, we didn't score. Of course we didn't score. It's not working. Arteta's seen nobody. Like when I saw Moreno score those 2 goals, I was like, if he starts in the next game, I don't think it's going to work out the way Arteta thought. Right? And he's done it, back-to-back games now? It's not going to work. Not the way we play, not the way he's built.
Again, you can't have Moreno sitting there playing like a false 9. He has to be hanging out in the box. I mean, The fact
can't-
that
Mhm.
you thought, I mean, if the guy's got a height advantage, you want to put him somewhere where he can do things for tall people, shall we say? But I don't really know what the answer is at this point.
I think who are your best attackers? That's not a hard question. There's only like two.
Well, I got to think about who's left at this point.
Come on. Come on. You know who's on the team.
Hitman, the guy that lives in Islington. I don't know.
There's two players. Come on. Trossard and Weary are our best attackers.
I'll be fair with you on this one. And this is going to sound really dumb, but I wouldn't start Trossard and Weary. I would have them come off the bench as like an answer. So I would force Sterling to play. I would force him to play. And then I would either try out that Nathan Butler or Deji. I want to see what he can do at this point. I want to see what these young kids can do, so we can potentially spend more money on a guy like Isak. If you sit here and, hey, what if you find a diamond in the rough? You found one in Weary. You found one in Skelly. I mean, that's what I want to see at this point.
The only concern is the body of work doesn't match up. He's played for 2 seasons in Division 2, and guess how many goals he scored? How many goals have you scored in your English football career?
Well, on FIFA or in real life?
In real life.
0. But again,
yeah, that's what he's done. He's done 0.
But if he's with our guys will make him better.
You know what? I believe you, but I've seen this before, because I believe I believe you. I believe that could happen, but I just feel like, for me, Arteta he should have played him already. He should have played him already if that was the case. Not like now, and it's not necessarily dire straits, but like now you've tried all these other things, and Got Arsenal misfit here. What did you say? For me, this was a mixed weekend. No Arsenal, which was great, but I lost my best friend who passed away in his sleep. So right now I'm having a lot of Mr. Steve, thanks for joining us. Sorry for your loss. Yeah, we're here. Just listen to us if that makes it better, or it makes it, gives you a little comfort. Yeah. It says here, sorry for the loss. Yeah.
So we'll see. So when's the PSV game? Is that tomorrow?
Yep, tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh joy! So I got my week ruined.
Well, yeah, only for a few days. We play Manchester United soon after, right?
Boy. And it gets better.
There's football. I guess do we have football every day, every week at least?
I think we're coming up on an international break here soon too.
So yeah, we have football tomorrow, and we have football on. Is it Saturday?
Yes, Sunday, 12:30.
Tomorrow and on Sunday, and then on Wednesday and on Sunday, and then we have that break. So Chelsea is so we got Manchester United on the road, and we got Chelsea at home. Games that we really need to win. Games that I don't know how we're going to do it. Tony is back. You can definitely provide the nonsense.
Pray to all the gods is your only chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's gonna be interesting because he's got to make changes. You just can't keep doing what you've been doing. If not, you're gonna get killed.
I don't think we get killed. It's just going to be a really boring game. We're likely to lose 1-0. That's the problem.
Most of our games this season have been pretty boring.
It's been our style, and now we need to be disciplined enough to play our style and get wins. Yeah.
It's, to me, I don't know if in the academy there's some speedsters. But that would help you do some long balls, through balls, big lofted, because Gabriel's good at it. but Partey's fairly good at it. But you got to start doing that. And you see Gabriel now running up past the halfway line, very confident with a ball at his feet. But to me, you gotta up the tempo because you just can't just dribble the little ball around, pass it around slowly, and hope that a fortress of 7 players in front of a goal moves out of your ways. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, that's why you have to do a lot of lofts and crosses so you can jump up, get headers. We've got the height, and that's our strength. We can't just rely on the corner kicks and free kicks. You gotta get the open play goal. Hopefully, that's something that we work on this week. We've had a little extra time this time, so.
Yeah, I mean, I always say when you get a little bit better from one game to the next, and we're not doing that. We're kind of staying stagnant.
Yeah, it's just
right. I mean, we played a really good game against Nottingham Forest, right? It was a better team than West Ham. We didn't give them anything, but we didn't really give ourselves. We didn't put the ball in the net either. So
Calafiore chance was really good, but
can't be defending your defenders to score, though. You know what I mean? At some point, somebody who has
I
the
would
ball.
try Calafiore up at a high position. Problem is, we're still running this stupid inverted left back, and he almost got caught out of position.
You know what? That's the problem. Like Arteta doesn't see the warning signs, right?
Like we've talked about this. There's blame all around in this whole thing, and
no, I know, but like if your players can't do it, and you continue to put them in that situation, then it's on you as the coach and the manager. I can't blame Calafiore for something we know he isn't. He's not a defender that can get back. It gets caught out. You know, that's what he is.
That's why you go to the back three. It's the answer with the players we have. Because we got plenty of fullbacks that can attack.
Creeping.
So just go to a back three. You have plenty of those guys that have played center back. I mean, you have Tierney. Played it for his country. Tommy also, which ain't available right now. He did it for his country, and pretty much all these guys can do it. You've seen Gabriel play in the middle; he does fine. A couple of times he's been pushed to the right, still does fine. So hopefully you have White coming back soon. That would give you a better back three, or you could just. I don't know if you would move Timber to the left, I think that would help the left a lot, especially when you're trying to figure out who that left 8 is above there. I mean, you've tried Zinchenko, you've tried so many players there. Right? Try Rice. Rice can do it sometimes you can't. But we just need consistency, and at this point, our season's over because we're not going to win the league. Very doubtful that we win the Champions League. So it's time to prepare for a future. If you can put the young players' names on the sheet, on the starting sheets, they can go out there and play. Make a team sheet, you should be able to go out and play. If you are on the team sheet and you can't play, you shouldn't be on the team sheet.
Yep. Yeah, definitely the warning signs that were there for Partey at right back, and Arteta went there 5 more times. All failures, or 5 out of 7 times, and many failures, too many failures. Yeah, did you guys see that in that FA Cup match? Whatever his name is, Oliver.
Was that the Crystal Palace game where where the goalkeeper like scissor kicked someone in the face?
Yeah, he basically outside the box too. It wasn't like, all right, he was just like outside the box. I mean, they showed pictures. He is well over the player's head. Um, and the referee, and they have it. There's a picture of the referee right in front of it, watching it. So it isn't one of those where he was off to the side. No, that's where the ball is. He's following the ball, right? That's what the referee does. The ball is there. Players' feet are well out in the air, and I've heard people's first thoughts were, "Oh, don't say it's a malicious Millwall player." No, dude, it was a dangerous play, is what it is. It's the only thing it was. Who cares? Like if that player has a crazy streak in him, that's one thing, but it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
This player put a player in danger. And
the bad should not matter. Yep.
It made a bad contact, So 25 stitches, and the referee was good. Would have let it go. Except for VAR stood in and said, "Dude, what are you doing?" So yeah.
That's why I still think I should go to a monitor every time, because it takes so much time anyway.
I don't think a ruling can be made except for offsides by VAR. It's the only ruling that they can make. They can't make a ruling about anything else because they don't understand what the referee is seeing and why he either didn't call it or missed it.
They can tell them to go look at it again.
No, I'm saying that they can't make the ruling. Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, the ref has to make the initial ruling.
But they make rulings. They confirm rulings. Then that can't be. They can't confirm anything.
Yeah,
they can't make a ruling. Like we've seen it multiple times where a call is being made. And like they can't make a handball call. They can't. Even if they see it, they can't do it because I don't believe that's actually in the book that says when a VAR is triggered that it's supposed to be a clear and evident error, and then you show it to the referee and they look at it and go, "Yep, I made a mistake." Right?
Like in the NBA, Gary, they'll talk to the replay center, and they don't have to listen to them. Sometimes they have discussions with 3 referees, and they're like, "Oh, this is the way we've seen it. Let's go with this. This is what our review center said. Do you guys agree with it? No, we're standing with our original
That's what I'm
call."
saying. The referee is the only person that can make a decision outside of offsides. That's the only thing that requires technology right now.
Yeah. 12, 14 iPhones that can't work yet.
Huh?
VAR will check for missed penalties.
But the only person who can give it is the official, is the referee, I believe.
Right.
I believe that should be the only person that makes the decision about what was missed or what was
be
an
a
error.
direction of VAR saying, "Hey, go look at this."
Yeah. So and right now, remember that play, the Newcastle play, right? The ball goes out of bounds. The 2 hands on the back of Gabriel. 90% of that was all done by VAR. I don't even remember if the referee goes to the screen, right? Because I think what happened was they said the ball was in, right? No, the referee has to make that decision. I just don't like the way they implement it. I don't think VAR should handle any kind of football decision.
This is the same country that blacks out 3 p.m. games on Saturdays, Gary. What do you expect?
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with VAR.
But everything's backwards.
That has nothing to do with VAR. VAR is just part of the game. Whether all the games are blacked out at 3 or not, it is still the football is going to be played and VAR is going to be implemented.
The only country right here complaining about VAR on the regular.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the 3 p.m. blackout is the reason why VAR.
No, I know it's not the reason, but it's backwards. The country's backwards. They block out games at 3 p.m., but they let the rest of the world see their games. And if you happen to stream it illegally, you go to jail because that's good. That's good justice by the UK right there. And then on top of that, look how VAR. So England is the only country where I can name like half the referees. I watch the NFL regularly on a Sunday, and I can name maybe 1 or 2 refs, and not because of bad calls they make, just because I've seen their faces and they're well recognizable. So. Yeah. I said what I said, and and you know what? And it's soccer too, not football.
Arteta doesn't heed any warnings or sign. He just drives kamikaze straight through. You're right about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying the same thing you said there, Spencer, several times.
Onside.
It's like I'm so tired of saying that, but it's true. I mean, you can know basically all the referees in the Premier League,
Mm-hmm.
but know about one or two
Or
out of all the other
sports.
sports.
Hmm.
You might recognize somebody, but you don't know his name. You're like, oh, that's a official that's in the playoffs a lot, but you don't know their name and basketball or whatever.
Well, I mean, Zanzi says it right there. Technically, VAR is good. It's just been run by a bunch of useless muppets who close ranks when one of their PGML fuels is questioned.
I don't think it's that great because they don't take the audio and let the fans hear it, or at least be available later to the fans about why the decision's going on. For a lot of the times, it takes them a long time to just say VAR check. They don't say what they're checking till later on. A lot of times, I think there's lots of tweaks they could make to it, but just to me, everything just needs to be consistent. You need to make offsides consistent. You were supposed to have these 12 iPhone 14s that we're doing.
No, but
Offsides
you're
this
not.
year,
But
not happen.
VAR offsides is consistent. They use the same technology for every game. You're saying they need better technology. Totally different thing in my eyes. Right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but
but
VAR is offsides is it's consistent the way it's being implemented. Right? It's not something different every time.
but a lot of times they're like, oh, an arm's outside, but they say you can't
Yeah, but they
score
don't
with a
do that anymore. We
non-scoring.
know this, right? That's what happened in the old system or in the old process, right? But they don't do that anymore. An arm can't be offsides, and even when they show you, right? Like I said, the only thing that VAR can do is say offsides are not. Really and truly, the referee makes the call, the final judgment. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Sign Out Life spoofing PGMOL in English football. Yeah, I think half of the American their viewing people would be like, "What the world are they talking about?" Yeah.
Well, again, like this, the whole, if you want to see a change, like I think, what's the word I'm looking for? Letting the audio be released. But again, I don't know if, because I always use rugby as an example, and I know people I've talked to about this talk about the different classes of individuals that watch the different sports in England, right? Cricket, rugby, and football, I guess, which is a different class of individual. Where I guess, or excuse me, what the traditional was, right? Historical, if you go back. So I just wonder if football could even accept hearing the audio. And if once they hear the audio, they still won't accept the outcome. Whereas in rugby, it's like, okay, it's a try. It's not a try. Or it's a high tackle, red card, not, I mean, there's different aspects to it. So I do wonder about it. The tribalism and everything. The problem that the Premier League and the fans have, and the FA, and this goes up and down the table, is people are more interested in laughing at United getting a bad call against them or Arsenal getting a bad call against them than they are making sure. Like, I would be 100% upset if some of the bullshit calls we've had against us happened to Spurs or happened to United or happened to Chelsea, because you don't really want the refs to impact the outcome of games. So you don't want that. Like that's, I mean, like the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, defensive holding impacted the outcome of that game against the Eagles and the Chiefs 2 or 3 years ago. No one wants that. You want the best team to win on the pitch, 38 games out of the season. And you don't want Michael Oliver to be involved. I don't need to see Michael Oliver. I appreciate his good haircut. Appreciate, everything.
No. See, that's where you go wrong.
Listen,
there's nothing positive about anything on that guy.
That was a fluffer comment that really didn't mean anything. It was an empty.
No, no. You can't even bring that up. You can't even bring that up.
Let's be real here and let's be serious here for a second.
You better watch what word you say there. buffer. That has a totally different meaning.
There we go.
You said it.
I didn't say that.
You said it. You did say the
but-
word.
Okay, well, everybody meme away. But no, I just at the end of the day, that I don't know. I'm looking forward to the automated offsides coming in. But again, you got a guy getting scissor kicked in the face, and the ref had to be told to go look at a monitor. Like, where's the punishment for him? Like, even like missing that after a while. Like, there's, like I said, I don't like to see.
Accountability has been the key thing.
Like, I think you should have to go down and I know Tom's going to disagree with me on this because he's not here to disagree, but he should have to go. The guy should have to go ref in the championship for a couple weekends. I know they're going to say, well, the championship now gets the poor refereeing. Sorry. That's just how it goes.
But what does it take to fix either one of them?
Accountability.
Is it to take a team suing them?
Sponsorship money.
Oh,
That's what it comes down to.
The football teams need to basically stand together, and they don't want to do it because right now, some people get the better end of the stick when it comes to refereeing decisions. But in reality, everybody gets screwed. Everybody has been on the wrong side of a call, either by VAR or by the referee, and the referee's not punished for it. So accountability is the only way that works. And you know what? Accountability then creates hopefully a better environment for you get better referees that basically will go make the call. The first, I think right now they lean on VAR, and I hate that. I know they do that in the NFL as well. They will not make a call because it might affect the play. Just make the call. If you're wrong, you're wrong. That's what happens, and that's what happens in sports. But you make the call based on what you saw, based on what you see, and then if they can fix the correction, cool. If they can't, that's just that everybody would be like, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? The call was made incorrectly, but the referee's consistent in all of his calls. He just made a wrong one here. I think that's what should happen. Like right now, when a referee knows somebody's offsides, they should just call him offsides. But no, they just put the flag out wide and wait to see what happens.
And that's when you see the injuries and stuff.
Yeah, we've seen injuries. You see the way the play gets extended. How long? An extra 10 to 15 seconds sometimes. Because by the time they wait a long time to decide whether they put it up there, and then eventually they put it up when like, dude, you should have called it. When you first saw it, the flag should just come up. If you think the player's offsides and you're standing there and you're looking at it, like 9 times out of 10, the flag should go up. It's only a few times where they just can't tell. A lot of times it's clear as day, and they won't make the call. As Zanti says here, the PGMOL, pitiful game manipulation overtly lamentable. The Reds have gained a bit of fame and notoriety as if they're.
But I can hardly
this enough earlier because I feel like the one in the box when he pushed the player was. I mean, that was blatant. You could argue the player may have ducked, but this was a pretty vicious game, man. Vicious game for.
Yeah, I mean, a player that you don't even call a foul. I don't think he even called a foul on that play. It's a red. 28 stitches and no accountability for it. I mean, playing in the championship might be refereeing in the championship might be a punishment, but dock 2 weeks pay.
Yeah, that
will make a difference.
What's happened to doing those retroactive red cards? I haven't heard of one of those in a long time.
I think it was an idea that just never got any real wings to it. I mean, that's my gut feeling.
Yeah, Gordon got sent off, and I think somebody else got thrown out as well in a game. Who is it? Oh boy,
I can't. Remember.
Kuna. Yeah. For it wasn't a big headbutt, but it's you can't do that. You can't motion your head to another player's head. He was already Kuna was already wilded up at that point. Then he moves your head to another player's head. I know it doesn't it wasn't a full on head to head, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
And it seemed like Gordon wanted out of that game. Two hand push from what he did. I didn't see it, but I've heard about the shove. Easy, yellow card, I guess. Red card, you're gone. Mm-hmm. So Newcastle just likes to play up for us. That's all that's all I'm going to say. The only team they play up for is for us. You look at all the other games scattered around, the games they played against us, the crap. The crap.
Yeah. Well, we I don't know, man. That Newcastle, West Ham, that's 2 years in a row with West Ham, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, beat the dog doo-doo out of them last year at their place too, and then struggled at home against them.
Yeah. And I think this time was, I think Arteta played right into their hands. I mean, we needed to do something different than we did. We basically just didn't give ourselves any chances, and our defense has shown they will give the other side a chance. So. Are you all suggesting we should Mike Oliver tarred and feathered?
Nope.
No, because he'll still be on the pitch refereeing the next day. So no, that's not going to work.
Yeah, I don't think you could recover from tar and feathering that quickly, though, Gary.
He would if Arsenal is his next game up.
Are you saying that he would make a special exception with?
Oh, you're damn right. What player who's injured never plays against Arsenal? And when it's the next game,
he would be covered in Vaseline, so the tar and feather would come off easy.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, okay. I got a question for you. I saw this on the show, and I thought it was interesting. I did listen to the show, so my thought is probably jaded a little bit. But if I let you guys let me see. Yeah, I can find it here. I'll let you guys read it in the private chat. Let me know if you want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
need bumper music right now.
So here we go. Oh, that is not what I copied of it. There we go.
I hate it when you copy something and you paste it. It's totally different.
That is not what I was pasting. All right, so yeah, take a look at that. Let me know what you think, and then maybe we can talk about it. And we're talking about this season.
Hey.
Yeah, no, Oliver would definitely come.
Oh.
The answer is 42. Always 42.
I mean, we can talk about it if you want.
It seems like we've discussed bits of all of this.
We haven't put it all in one thing and said which one.
Yeah.
So that's why. So here we go. This is what I asked. This is what I asked the guys. You can see it right there. Basically, this season, rank what affected the season the most.
You go first, Tony.
You can just if you're ready to just give your order and then you can talk through it. That'll be easier.
Okay, I think like you usually have people like Adu and the football side, not just. To me, that's not really management, but all.
Whatever, yeah, the management would be recruiting and everything else that everybody does.
I'm gonna go coaching as number 1, injuries 2, management 3, PGML 4.
All right, Spencer.
Injuries, number 1, first and foremost. Number 2 for me. When I say PGMOL, I'm going to blame the players too. Can we?
It's PGMOL.
Can't say discipline in there.
No, it's PGMOL. We've had the most red cards. We've lost the most minutes.
How many of those red cards are our fault?
We've had the most
PGML then. I'm putting PGML number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll put management, then coaching.
Cool. My order is what's there. So
I don't see you guys can have coaching first and just ignore the injuries, but that's fine.
No. They all relate. For the last 4 seasons, I'll tell you this.
Then why do we rank them?
Huh?
Then why do we rank them?
No. I'm just telling you. For me, the reason why I have coaching first is because coaching has had to deal with with the management not giving the referee who he wants. Injuries, we've been through that. We went through a season where we lost Saliba, and that was basically the reason why our season was done. And PGML, because they make calls that have affected us in many a game, not just this season. My thought process has always been that coaching should learn from that. And so all the things that have just come together in this one season, I just think the coaching needs to stand up a little bit more this season because we've seen all of this. So for me, the coaching has to be better. We go ahead, Tony.
But coaching's responsible for most of the injuries because you've seen Saka overplayed. Saliba's luckily just had minor injuries from it. But it was bound to happen. These guys playing so many minutes. Even if you go to the League Cup, Saka would play like one half. You would always end up with all 10 of your starters minus your goalkeeper out there playing, and sometimes, most of the time this year, it was Raya out there. So I mean, you shouldn't be having to play your top players in the cups. I mean, later rounds of FA Cup maybe, but League Cup you can take it pretty easy. It's Arteta's fault because he said we've had too many players, too few players, not enough good players, too few players, and he forgets that he controls a lot of that. So that's why I think it's coaching, because the injuries are a direct result of Arteta only having probably 13, 14 guys that he actually trusts. And if your rotation's that small, you're going to get killed. There's games where we've only made one substitution. When you have 5 players, you can substitute. Like I said, you can go out there and experiment with something different and throw away two players and just trying them in different positions, and if it doesn't work, sub them out and do something else, because you got 5 substitutions. You used to be able to change the game with 5 substitutions. And the problem is, well, we hardly have a backup to any player. We don't have a recognized striker. When pretty much the whole time I've been watching them, we've had 4 to 5 strikers, because you need the depth because of injuries. They just get out of form. I mean, there's a lot to it. That's why you have that many on there. But nope. Let's stick with 0 and see what works. It doesn't work. Gary's seen it. You said it at the first of the year, not the first of the year, but first of the season, that's been our main problem, is the lack of scoring, especially at striker. And a lot of that, Arteta hasn't signed one, and he gives them defensive duty, because he's seen Lacazette basically play a false 8 in that year that Aubameyang, whatever coaching staff he got in fight with. I mean, once he went out, Lacazette ended up with 17 goals, actually kind of playing as a striker that year instead of being stuck in the midfield. But to me, it's coaching, management. To me, it needs to be broken down more, because you got the board, you got owners, you got management, then you got all the guys in charge of football operations. And to me, the refereeing, the VAR, it ends up screwing everybody. I learned a long time in sports. Play through the whistle, to do what you think's right, and maybe they'll get it sorted out for you. But you can't control it. You can't let it affect you. You just go out there and play. Because if you let the refs get in your head, you're probably going to lose. Or you're going to be blaming them and not looking at what you guys need to change. But sorry for my loaded answer there. But Spencer's back now, so Spencer can talk.
Hi, Tony. No, so I blame injuries, number one. I mean, the amount of players who've been missing, Odegaard, Saka, Havertz, who else we missing time with? Ben White's been out. Gabriel ends up coming hurt. They're in the Liverpool game, so you have to play two backup center backs. I mean, to me, that's first and foremost the injuries. The question was this season, not 5 years from now, because I'm seeing in the chat, Ben, Big Ego, all this other stuff. Anyway, injuries is number one this year. I'm going to get discipline number two, because I know it wasn't one of the options, but PGML discipline, who's at fault, who's not at fault, not really worried about it. But there's games where players put themselves above the team and impacted the whole team, and that impacted injuries. I blame management and coaching. They're right next to each other, so it's like a 3A, 3B type thing. Because if the January window had have gone differently, I would blame coaching over management. So that's the difference for me. The January window, they did nothing to help Arteta at all. If they had have helped him, then I would have flipped it around and put him higher to blame for where we are, vice management. But we're looking at the margins of 1 to 4 aren't really that massive, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
ultimately, it's a club failure, top to bottom. Nobody gets passes on this, but the injuries can't be ignored. I mean, when have we had our best 11? How many times have we put our best 11 out there this season?
Yeah.
Where everybody's been there. It's not that many.
Yeah. I hear you. I mean, I kind of told you why I have it in that order. I think a lot of these things where we've talked about, we need to be able to play beyond what the referees do to us. Injuries, we need to be able to have a full squad, right? Because usually injuries come up, and the reason why they hurt so much is because we don't have a backup. We knew going in, for the last 2-3 seasons that a backup for Saka was going to be required. We knew for the least 2 to 3 seasons that we need to have somebody behind Ughhhhh. All right, we knew that. We've known for since the center back crewing has been there. We need to have that. We've been lucky, and then when we weren't lucky, we lost it. And everybody said the reason why we lost is because we didn't have legitimate cover behind Sleeper. So what did we go out and do? As far as I'm concerned, we didn't fill it. We still haven't filled it. Because if Calafiori is the backup center back, then guess what? I would have seen that and felt like we still have it. We have a coverage. We held on to Kirior for what reason? We don't want to play him. I mean, like for me, we've got players that could fill the needs, but we don't ever see them get an opportunity to actually do what they're supposed to do, which is cover for the backups and allow us to rotate players in and out of the lineup. When the game's either won or they've hit the red line.
With TVR, I mean, he had a deal ready to go in October for this winter window, and for whatever reason, they put a kibosh on that. I mean, they still have plenty of fullbacks back there, so I don't see why you don't get money for him. And the bad thing is that you perpetually loan these guys out instead of just selling them. I don't care if you lose 5 to 10 million under your valuation. Just sell them. It's better than having to buy out their contract or just keep loaning them out. It's just bad business by everybody at fault. But I still think what screwed us this winter and probably is the summer is Adu had his head somewhere else. I mean, that should have been sorted out. If there was issues, that should have been sorted out at the start of the season. It seems like it was. I mean, it wasn't too long after the season started that it was announced. So I don't know why you can't find somebody, even as a caretaker, in that position for a year to try to get some deals done.
Well, we know that Arsenal will not bring in players that aren't their long-term answers, that don't have long-term futures. So I always say, why can't they do that elsewhere? Aubameyang did jump around a lot, but he did win a trophy with Barcelona. So won a La Liga title. So yeah, it didn't work out for Arsenal, but the one season he left, he did win a La Liga title with Barcelona, and then he's been bouncing around ever since.
There's one thing that pissed me off when he was there is how many headers he got.
What does that? That don't matter. I don't care. I don't care how the ball goes in the net. I don't think Spencer cares how the ball goes in the net.
No.
If it goes off his butt 10 times, I'm gonna cheer it 10 times.
You didn't listen to me.
No, but a striker heading the ball isn't like a bad thing. So I don't understand what that actually.
He did it at Barcelona, but he did not do that at Arsenal. Is where I was going, because you had all the crosses and stuff at Arsenal, because you had Tierney going up there doing the crosses.
But was he actually in position to head the ball? Because I don't even think we played the style that got him in the box for any of those crosses. That's the problem. You're looking at the crosses going in, and I'm looking at why is the striker not in the box? And a lot of times it's because of the way Arteta sets up his team. He's got them crossing to no one, and many of the time. That's why Saka is the best crosser of the ball, because he usually will wait until somebody gets an attacking formation, and then we have a better chance of scoring. So for me, I hear what you're saying. I think that's an Arteta issue. Why our strikers aren't in the box. Like even with Kai Havertz, right? He's never in the box when the cross comes through. Why is that? Because he's asked to do so many extra things, right? You saw with Jesus, he's in the box, but he's not going to compete against it. Trossard is in the box, but he's not going to compete for those balls. Like we play a different style for the different players. When we have a tall player, we don't play sometimes that style of play that they need. When we have the shorter players, we're playing a different style, right? I mean, and that's kind of what I feel like we see. But I hope you guys like that question. I just thought it was an interesting one to bring up, and it was just a different thing to. But it looks like
different to put an order to it instead of just randomly talking about it.
True. We're almost out of here. So one of two questions, if you guys, how you guys want to answer it. We have a new director of football. Supposedly, we're finalizing deals for a new director of football. You guys want to talk about him? Or I did see people talking about Erdegaard as our captain. Should we continue with him as captain? So it's either an Erdegaard question or director of football question, and then we're out of here.
I'll go with Odegaard.
So this is a democracy. So Spencer, what would you like to hear? What would you like to talk about?
Well, we could talk about whatever Tony wants to talk about.
There you go. He just passed the buck. So Erdegaard is a captain. Is it still worth having him as a captain on the squad? Is it too much for him to handle? Is he the right captain? Is he get pulled out of games? Should he be getting pulled out of games that we need a captain in? Does he show up when the captain's required?
Yeah,
Those are all questions about Erdegaard.
yeah. I think he would better be in like the vice captain like you used to have. You had your captain or vice captain. To me, I said it earlier. I think Gabrielle is because he's in there at almost every referee discussion on the free kicks, corners, all that stuff. He's talking and communicating. You see him talking and communicating in the back. And right now, I think Odegaard just needs to focus on playing football. I think his seems like his mind's a little cluttered. Like I said, he's just running around the pitch. He just needs to figure out one thing to do that works instead of doing just running around the pitch in this giant circle that he ends up with because he'll start off at the right wing, go to the left wing, go back into the midfield between the midfield and the center backs, then you veer back along. But I think he has too much on his plate. So I think I would just either say we have two co-captains and nobody's a captain, or just say Gabriel's the captain and Odegaard's the vice captain. And like you said, I think the captain should be somebody that plays pretty much all the minutes. I wouldn't be hurt that it went to Saka instead, but I don't know if Saka needs that on his plate either. But I think it needs to change because Odegaard's been very disappointing this season. I know sometimes you get Rice over there. He's trying to do some of the captainy stuff, but I don't think he's great at it either. But I think you just need to change it. If it doesn't work, then you can go back to it. But I don't think it's going to hurt his confidence or anything if you just say, hey, I think it's best for the team, best for you that you're not the captain, and move on.
Spencer.
Well, if it was up to me, I'd make Kai Havertz the captain.
You're being funny, but let's hear a real answer.
Okay, sorry. I was interjecting some Mr. Tom nonsense to the chat. I'm fine with Odegaard as the captain. I don't see a lot of problems with it. I mean, there probably are people that probably have more leadership qualities, where like at least they come across as having that. I would imagine Declan Rice would probably have been the one I probably would pick. If you were going to say, hey, Odegaard's no longer captain, you got to remove from who you picking, I'm probably going Declan Rice. That would be the one I would pick. Gabrielle is not a bad shout either. It's really not. I think I remember when the Amazon documentary, Amazon came out. And they never interviewed Odegaard at all during the whole time. I thought that was I think it was just kind of weird to me that he didn't speak, right? But again, he may not be interested in being on a Netflix documentary. He just wants to play football. So
it's funny to see that, and then his whole family stuff. A lot of our family stuff is out there on Instagram for those who want to see. So it's like. Mm-hmm. This is a little bit more constructive because the people are inside field of how you play football and how you think football.
What was that right when he signed for Arsenal after the loan?
I'm going to say yes. I don't
because his head was twisted. He just kept talking about all these lies at Real Madrid and. Because he came in such a better player on that loan than he did coming back, signing with us, being with Arsenal. It took him until after Christmas to finally start clicking. He was not
See,
itself.
for me, I would blame it on the coaching.
Yeah, you
I
can
don't
put.
think the way he played when he came in as a as a lone player. I don't think Arteta 100% was like I could see him as my new player next. Because when he came in, I believe he probably just changed things around and said, "Okay, this is how I want to really use you." And it's like, dude, it should have been a seamless thing. He already played for 3 or 4 months with you, and it didn't look like it, did it? Didn't look like it at all. So for me, I think that was a bit of the coaching and how Arteta was working with it. Um, I, 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 I'm not saying it was too soon, but we didn't have a captain. He was the one that was given the title. But as you said, I think at that time, and then like right now, like Gabriel or Rice or the captain material that I think we need. The one thing for Rice that holds him back for me is that he hasn't established a position on the pitch that's his. So it's hard for me to say whether or not he would play 90 minutes every game because he doesn't have a position. I don't think the way we play him, like he should be a 6, right? He's not an 8. He should be a 6. So if he's a 6, he should be a 6. All right, and like Spencer said, if he's our 6 going forward, then he's our 6 today. There's no reason to keep Partey in. Partey can come in and give him spells, all right? Because I think they want to keep him. But there's no reason to start Rice if the future is start Rice. Sorry,
But
start Partey if the future is Rice. Yeah.
but didn't he have 7 goals and 7 assists last season?
Who?
Rice.
I don't care. He's not an 8. That's the problem. He's not an 8. He's not the way we want to play an 8. All right. He's not aggressive enough with his passing and moving the ball forward the way I think we need our 8s. But as a 6, I think he's better. Right. That's why for me, I think the 100 mil and not he doesn't have a position after 2 years. I think is a poor sign of a poor signing. A player should have a position. I mean, Kai Havertz has a position right now, and he's worth less. A player for 100 mil should have his position sewn up in 2 years.
They definitely have to figure that out before the end of the season. They gotta see, hey, he looks a little better here, or just ask him where he wants to play and see if maybe that works. But to me, I like him going forward better. I think he adds something to the attack, but that's my opinion.
I don't. I think he does. I think he takes it away. So I don't know. We're looking at 2 different games, 2 different players.
And we both can be right. That's what's great about opinion.
Well, I'll say this much. Our press is better when Odegaard's out there. He leads the press, tells people where to go. When he wasn't out there for that little time, our press was not very good at all.
Because we don't have a backup for him that can do a similar role. That's why I talk about depth all the time. You don't have a depth. You have a depth problem, and then when your players go out, you go, well, that's why he's so important. A player can't be important because he's the only one we got. That can't be the answer. The answer has to be we have depth, right? We have to have depth, or else we get into problems. Like you've seen what happened this season. We've lost every fullback, left, right-hand side. It doesn't matter. But our depth has been enough to cover every time.
But injuries wasn't the biggest issue this season.
Not for our fullbacks, but we have lost players on the left and right-hand side for injuries. Not as long as for our most important positions on the pitch. Our center back, whatever Erdegaard plays, and our right wing.
Our best 11 coming into the season would have been Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, White, probably Partey, Rice, Odegaard, and then Martinelli, Havertz, and Saka. How many times do we see that lineup this year?
I would put Trossard instead of Martinelli.
You know what? The left wing for me, it don't matter. The left wing for me, you can interchange him. I think Trossard should be better off the bench, and that's why I like him there. But to me, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't know how many times we played with that lineup.
Not that many.
Yeah.
I have to go back and look at it.
But that's why you have to have depth, because we've been lucky over the 3 seasons prior to this. It's because we didn't really have to worry about if Saka playing, if Erdegaard is playing, if this player is playing. We really had barely any injuries that significantly derailed our season. This season, 4 games in, we lost Erdegaard for like 13 to 10 games or something like that, all inclusive, right?
And then we lost Saka for.
And then in December we lost Saka for basically three. It's going to be 4 months or almost 4 months, I think. So I feel like the games prior to the games prior to this season were the warnings. You need depth, right? We were flirting with Saka coming back from international duty with an injury. Right, worrying about if that's going to happen, and then guess what happened this season? Erdegaard goes away, gets injured again in international duty, just to finish him off.
So the margin. So then again, it becomes down to ownership and management. Then, so I'm going to redo my list here. All right, injuries number 1, ownership and management number 2. Right, because now you're going to make my point here by saying you didn't have depth because you sent players away in the summer. So there you go.
And then, like I said, you can make your adjustments. I still feel like our coaching should be able to adapt to what we have, because we know, like at some point, every one of those players in that team is one you picked, right? And so you need to show some confidence in some of those players. Like I think everybody would say, as soon as Erdegaard went down in that Brighton match and where he should have come on, it was only 10, 15 minutes left in that match. Yeah. And it wasn't like he was playing without the starters. He was playing with the starters. So, does he have support around him? Yes, he does. And should he have already been, acclimated to the position in practice? I think so. I have a doubt that he did, but that's when I realized, well, so in where he is not our backup.
So here you go. I'm gonna add to your list, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ad-lib this. It's gonna be injuries number 1, ownership number 2, and management. Number 3, closely, I'll put the coaching up there. Number 4 is going to be discipline, and that's our players' discipline. Number 5, PGML. Mm-hmm. That's how I would do that, because I go back to those games, the Saliba, the Rice, the Trossard. I don't really want to be on Miles Lewis-Skelly for.
No, the last one. See that red that he got. You know what that is? We've seen that before.
Yeah,
he's a young player. He has to know. The only thing I need to protect right now is that ball. That ball cannot get away from me. I'm the last line of defense. I'm high up on the pitch. The ball is a terrible pass to me in a sense that it puts me in danger. And he kind of took his eye off the ball a little bit, lost a little bit of control on the ball, and then he got beat. And then he had to bring somebody down. And that's kind of how that works for me. I kind of felt like that one, that's just a learning curve. He won't do that again. And you know what? Should he even be playing left back for us? No. He should play at 8, and then you're going to go, who plays it? Who position does he take? I don't care. He's the best 8 we got. He's the best left fullback we got right now. But if we're going to be healthy on our left backs, why don't we put what looks like a better 8 in the game? I mean, that's what should happen right now. We're fully stocked on fullbacks. If he's going to be an 8 for us, let him play 8, just like you said. Play for the future. Right, Skelly, Erdegaard, and Rice in that midfield. All right.
I have one question before we get out of here. How many windows does it take us to get all the players we need?
Well, we know we're not going to get all of them this window. So
the same amount that takes for the licks to the center of the lollipop.
And then you know what? That means when it's done, you just bite it and you're in.
Yeah, I always remember that damn owl doing 1.
He's like 1,
2, and crunch.
Yeah. No, I think when we're ready, we're ready. But I think we have, the only problem I think I have with this squad right now is our attacking answers. Some people thought we had the right play. Like I was listening to a show and they're like, we had 7 attackers. I believe we were ready to go. And I'm like, no, No, we didn't have a striker. Jesus wasn't reliable. Our left wing wasn't dependable, and we didn't have support behind Saka. I mean, that's 4 players there that I'm thinking of that we needed to make it right. I think it's 4, or is that 3? Probably 3.
Oh, you're not
Probably
including backup strikers that we need as
Yeah,
well.
well, like Jesus is a backup striker, and you know what? Like no player is a starter in this position and a backup in another. That doesn't work. That's a last ditch effort thing that you do, but that's not how you set up your squad. You don't go like Tierney. You are starting left or starting right fullback, but then you're also our backup and into a center back. That can't be. You can't be a starter and a backup. It should be something behind you and something behind every position. But guess what? If they have to rotate, then they rotate, and then maybe they'll play the better players. But in reality, they should be a player there already. 7 goals in 51 games. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel he should be the leader in the middle, and he should be the 6 that he's supposed to be. Whether we play with 2 6s or not, I'm not sure. But I don't know. I think Skelly is an 8, and so I don't know how you do that 2 6 with Skelly and Erdogan. To tell you the truth, I think Skelly could play the 6. I think he's strong enough to do it. The only thing is he going to be able to play like a Partey? I don't know. That's the difference, and that's the problem we have is they don't play like a Partey. So I think that's kind of where we are. All right, let's say Mr. Tom is gone, but looks like we're about to go as well.
Yeah, Tom will be up until Raw ends in an hour and a half, probably.
Yeah, don't let Ray as part in the red be not reconciling. Yeah, he was definitely out of position and created created that situation as well. But our goalkeepers play high, so for me, I feel like that's part of it. And then we're blaming Arteta because he asked for his goalkeepers to come high sometimes, and that's where that pass has to make some sense. That pass cannot put your player under duress. I'd rather kick that ball out. You know what I mean? Than put one of my teammates in that kind of danger. I tell my kids that a lot. If you can't figure out a good situation, get that ball out. We'll reload. We'll get our defense situated.
Fight another day.
We'll fight another day. We don't need it. We don't need to win this one. If you're gonna put one of your teammates in a situation like that, and you have a choice, like if you make a bad pass, that's one thing. But if you have a choice and I'm not going to be able to get it to him the right way because of the way that we play, make a really poor pass and kick it out. You know what I mean?
Don't be a hero in that time.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thinking behind it. But yeah, Ray is out of position, but I think our goalkeepers are asked to play high when we were in possession. So
I remember when all the players, when they were under pressure like that, they would just boot it 60 yards down the field.
Yeah, but he's passing back to his goal, though. Dude.
No, but I'm talking about arcing it out of the play.
But,
I mean,
or
even there, they just kick the fuck out of it and be in the top of the stance.
I hear you.
Rose Ed.
Yeah. So Tony, talk to me. We are gonna get out of here.
For me, the rest of the year, just hopefully we see some tinkering and see some of the academy players. You see their name on the sheet. Why not give them a run? Because we're not gonna win first. That third, maybe we drop the third, maybe we don't. But to me, you have to see what works. You have to see what you had, because I think last year, if you played Skelly, you would have learned, yep, that kid's ready. Same with Wineri. They both look ready. And it's just time to play these kids, because you had players like Balogun go out that was actually an out-and-out striker. You had it again with Cheeto. I mean, he was out-and-out striker. Now he's training with Man United's first team. That's how quick he advanced from being in the under 18s to under 21s to ready to play for the first team of Man United. So apparently the kid was ready. But that's all. Everybody stay healthy. Hopefully, I'll be here next Monday. Get my shoulder scoped again, probably rotator cuff. So I might be drugged up a little bit, but I'll be here more than likely.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck on the surgery. Good luck on the surgery, and we'll see you when we see you.
I used to be scared when I'd go under, but now it's just like, that's a nice nap.
True. And Spencer, what say you?
Well, thanks for joining us. Happy Monday. Happy fun day. Anyway, so now tomorrow's game, not high expectations. But yeah, anyway, enjoy the rest of the week. Got PSV United. Maybe have some good vibes, good feelings. Just trying to find positives and things. And right now, you can't really find much. It's boring to watch Arsenal play right now. It is boring. There are about a list of 10 other things, actually 5 other things that involve pain I'd rather do than watch Arsenal play right now. But either way, good luck, Tony. Lobotomies are always risky. But anyway, thanks, Gary, for allowing me to come on here and waffle for 90 minutes on Mondays and sometimes 2 hours on Saturdays. And it's good seeing you, Tony. And to everybody in the chat room, enjoy the rest of your week.
True. Yep. No, but thank you, everybody, for joining. Tyre Gunnar says Arsenal won. PSV's nailed that really good to go home with a 1-goal lead. And then, we could shut it down, right? We could really shut it down at home. And then maybe you'll steal one there. I just think we need to come up with a style of football that with the players we got to get the best out of them. This is where the coaches are in their keep, right? You need to overachieve with the team you got. Right now, Ted is willing to make them suffer, as opposed to, you know what, I'm going to get the best out of you. And we're going to win some football. And I don't know if that's the mentality he has, but that's the mentality he should have. You guys, we're going to win games because guess what? I'm going to put you in position to succeed. I can't do that if I put you in positions where you're going to fail. So I think that's where he has to go. I mean, this is the coaching, man. This is coaching 101. If you don't have the right players, then you figure out how to get the best out of the ones you do. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And where Skelly scored the 1-0. I'll take it wherever it comes from. And where I think this needs to get touches more, that's the problem there. I don't think we give him enough touches, and so we don't give ourselves the best chances. But thank you again for joining us. We'll be back next Monday. We'll be talking about the PSV match and the Manchester United match. Hopefully that's what we're talking about, 2 wins. Hopefully we're talking about 2 goals scored, at least.
And don't tell them what I'll be talking about because I'll be
there. You go. Yeah, you might sound no different than you did today. So, so there you go.
I tried.
I kid. But you set me up with that one. But everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll do this again. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, and share the screen with your friends. And we'll be back again. And I guess what is it? 22 and a half hours. We'll be back here again in 6 days. See you, folks. And we're life is a journey. Don't waste the trip.